You ever notice how some things are just presented in the best possible light? I mean, it could be anything, a company's financial report or, a face on screen. There's a real art to shaping how we see things. So today, we're going to look at two completely different worlds, corporate finance and pro filmmaking, and see how the experts control what we see, and more importantly, how we see it. Okay, let's just dive right in.
So we start with this headline. On the surface, it sounds incredible, right? Doubled profits, wow. It's a really powerful statement, and it's designed to make the company look super strong, super successful. But what does a term like adjusted EBITDA actually mean? This is a classic example of financial presentation. To really get how a company can be made to look so good on paper, first we've got to decode some of the language they use. So let's break down that key term, shall we? Okay, so what in the world is EBITDA? The really crucial thing to get here is that EBITDA is a very specific lens to look through when you're viewing a company's performance. It basically strips out a whole bunch of normal costs. We're talking taxes, interest on debt, even the value of assets going down over time, all to give you this picture of just the core operational profit. It's one way to present financial health, for sure, but it is not the whole picture. It is all about framing. And that question right there brings us to a really fascinating pivot. We've been talking about financial framing, but what about, literal framing? How do the pros take a person, a subject, and present them in the best possible physical light? You might be surprised to hear that the principles are pretty much identical. It all comes down to control and technique.
So, welcome to the world of professional lighting. And just like in finance, there's a very specific language, a set of fundamental rules that filmmakers and photographers use to shape exactly what we see on our screens. And you know what? It all starts with understanding the two basic types of light.
Now, what's so cool about this is how simple it is at its core. Every crazy, complex lighting setup you've ever seen in a movie boils down to a choice between hard and soft light. Hard light, that's your drama. It creates these sharp, high-contrast shadows. But soft light, that's flattering. It just kind of wraps around a subject and smooths everything out. Most of the time, especially when you're lighting people, you're aiming for that soft, appealing look. So how do you actually create that professional look? Well, you don't just point a lamp at someone and call it a day. There's a foundational technique that has been the industry standard for decades. It's called three-point lighting.
This system it's so logical and elegant. First, you got your key light. That's the main light source, the heavy hitter that defines where the shadows are going to fall. Then the fill light comes in from a different angle. Its whole job is to soften up those shadows, to control the contrast. And finally, the separation light, which hits the subject from behind. This is the magic touch. It creates the subtle little outline that makes them literally pop right out from the background. It's the formula for creating depth and dimension.
Of course, to pull off these techniques, you need the right tools. And the pros have a whole arsenal of specialized lights designed for very, very specific jobs. So let's take a quick peek at a few of the workhorses of the industry.
This here is the Diva light. And yeah, the name kind of gives it away. It's designed to make people look fantastic. It produces this beautiful soft light, and it's portable, which makes it an absolute go-to for interviews when you need a quick, flattering setup on location.
And next up, we've got the 4-bank system. This one is all about versatility. It's bigger, so it creates an even softer wash of light. And because the main fixture is so lightweight, crews can literally tape it to a ceiling or rig it up in super tight spaces. It can be a key light, a fill light, pretty much anything you need it to be.
And for a completely different effect, you have the ring light. This thing mounts directly onto the camera lens. It creates this signature, almost shadowless look that is perfect for close-ups. You see this a ton in news reporting and, let's be honest, all over social media these days.
Okay, so we've covered the concepts and we've seen the tools. Now let's see how it all comes together in the real world, starting from a really simple one-on-one conversation all the way up to a full-blown television studio.
Look how effective this is. This just proves you don't always need a massive setup. Right here, a single soft light, that 4-bank we saw, is the key. And for the fill light, they're just bouncing that light back onto the subject's face with a simple white card. It's elegant, it's efficient, and it looks completely professional. Okay, now we're graduating to a full 3-point setup. You can actually see the two soft Diva lights in front, creating that flattering key and fill, but look closely at the background. See that little hint of light and texture? That's coming from a hard Fresnel light in the back, one of those hard light sources we mentioned, and it's acting as a separation light. This is how you create layers and real visual interest.
And here it is, the grand finale, a professional broadcast studio. This isn't just 3 lights, we're talking dozens.
You have these huge, soft sources for the anchors, you've got specialized lights just for the background, and spotlights to create little highlights. It's a complex symphony of fixtures all working together to create that flawless, high-end look we all associate with network news.
So you see, whether it's carefully selecting which financial numbers to show off a company's earnings or carefully placing lights to shape a face on camera, the goal is exactly the same: control perception and tell a very specific story. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What else in your world is being intentionally lit or framed to make you see it in a certain way?